What are the top 5 cryptocurrencies to buy if crypto achieves max pain over the coming weeks, months, or at least short-term period? I am going to be analysing not only one of these coins fully so you understand why I really like it, but also I'm going to be taking you through various charts that could be signalling why max pain is on the cards and how long that max pain is going to last for. Now, in my personal opinion, I think this presents fantastic times to get into cryptocurrency, as we saw a bounce happening yesterday from the previous 2 days. There are opportunities to get into top crypto, or at least cryptocurrencies that have the potential to be top cryptocurrencies that could net you 100x's, millions, etc. if you buy at the absolute right time when panic has set in, max pain hits, prices that are too good to be true can be achieved. Okay, and I'm also going to be talking about Terra Luna in this video as well, because there seems to be quite a lot of demand for analysis of Terra Luna. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to share this over to the good people of Twitter. You can hear me okay, so that's fantastic. So if you could do a Will Smith, smack that like. Dave, the guy who tackled Dave Chappelle, tackle that like button. Shouldn't make fun of situations like that, but one can't help it. There we are. Shared to shaft. And also, subscribe, join. You, 112,000 fantastic people that are following me. And also, hit the bell notification and click all so you don't miss. So you go to the bell, it will say personalized or all, hit all, and then you can watch me live. Right, okay. So, hello to all of you watching. It's fantastic to see you all in the house. Luna Inu, Immutable X, question mark. I also take your questions as well. So, where are we at? So, yesterday was actually a bounce. We had a bounce from the previous 2 days of bearishness, and we saw, double-digit percentage greens. Today, we are back into the red. So, if we have a look, we have only got a small selection of crypto coins that are in the green. And they are in minor green, save for Terra USD. But majority are in double-digit figure losses, and amongst the heavier losses are 2 I particularly like, one of which I am likely to cover in this video. So the crypto fear and greed index is indicating that we are at 9. 9. It is rare we achieve 9, actually. 10 in recent times is what we have seen. If we look at the max, there's a handful of times since 2018 that we have actually hit 9. So that presents the situation where people are not buying and are more likely to sell, because if people are fearing the worst kind of times are coming up, then they are going to be selling. So this presents what I believe to be a fantastic foundation to be able to dollar cost average in. Now, I'm going to take you through some charts now, so be prepared for some words of wisdom. So what we've got here is we've got the 200-day moving average, okay? Now, this is literally, and this is for you to use forever, essentially. And the 200-day moving average is literally something that people in the banking world, so investment banks, the big 5, traders, professional traders, this is the one line a lot of them look at. No, a lot of them don't look at Bollinger Bands, they don't look at RSI, they don't look at Golden Crosses, Death Crosses. They literally look at one line, and that is this one. And when an asset goes above it, that is typically a buy time. And when it goes below it, it's typically a sell time. So if you are not a hodler, if you are a person that trades, then you are typically looking for an asset that you're wanting to buy to go above this line. We don't want to buy above this line. We want to be buying well below the line so that when it hits the line, it shoots up and we are already in around about a 2x, if not a 10x at the point it hits here. So as you can see, this is absolutely not buying time. This is selling time because asset, and everything follows Bitcoin, asset is under the 200 moving day. We have a look at this bit here, we can see that over the last year, over a year, in fact, year and a half, this has been the support for Bitcoin as the 30k mark. Now we are closing below the 30k mark. So that shows weakness in Bitcoin. Again, the benefit of this is that we have buying opportunities ahead. So instead of concentrating on how much I've lost, concentrate on where can you build now? Where can you start building the fund of the future now or in the very short term? Okay, so this is, you can look at this in a good way or in a bad way. I choose to look at this as an opportunity because when Bitcoin is well above this and altcoins have followed it, then it's very likely you're going to look back on times like this and see it as an opportunity, whereas now you see it as a time of loss, of pain, of anger, frustration, of cruelty, etc. All right, so I don't think we are near where we are likely to bottom. So people are saying, have we bottomed? I don't think so. Okay, let me just show you why. So I'm going to take you to the Brave New Coin Index because this actually charts Bitcoin as far back as Bitcoin has been charted, right? And what we can see here is we have got the 21 monthly moving average, okay? And this is a very good indication of pain, right? Now, the last time that Bitcoin fell below the 21 monthly average was in, well, not the last time, the first time was in October 2014. When it went below that monthly average, we spent 13 months. So you count the bars because each bar represents a month. 13 bars underneath the 13 bars underneath. That's 13 months that we were in bearishness when we went below the 21 monthly moving average. The next time after that was in 2018. So this was where we had been, had support at 6k for Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin eventually fell through down to 3k. That led to Bitcoin being under the 21 monthly average for 6 months. So 13 to 6. Then the last time we wicked below it was during the Black Swan event. Okay, and we wicked quite significantly below it, but we were literally there for 1 month. So it was basically the month of March in 2020. And back in April, we recovered and went back over this. Now, for the first time since then, this shows the severity of the drop. We have now gone under. Now, what we can see is that we tend to see diminishing periods every time we go into bearishness. So 13 months, 6 months, 1 month. Could this be half a month? Could this be half a month? And if it is half a month, could we be seeing the price going a bit lower? Well, given that Bitcoin is weak, given that hodlers are selling, then yes, it could go a lot lower. So I am not buying right now. I am waiting for certain too good to be true prices coming up. And I'm going to show you the coins I'm looking at the moment. But what happened here, if we were to look back through the reasons for this, so Bitcoin hit its first real bear market here, its second real bear market here. And even though we were under this for 6 months, we were actually bearish for a whole 18 months. Okay, so although we may be under it for a short-term period, this event here, because yes, we are having diminishing periods of bearishness, but this was a Black Swan event. This was the COVID-19 crash, right? And the panic was quite temporary. I mean, the panic was felt for quite a while from a health point of view. But when the stimulus checks and when businesses were closing down and people were actually going to be getting funded through that period, that is when, from an economical standpoint, that is the important thing. That is where people started to actually feel quite good about themselves. And actually, they had some disposable income that could be used for investing. And so people were being given free money, essentially. Now what we have got is the opposite situation. So that was short-term pain solved by lots of money being printed, enabling for this bull run. And then now we are in a period where we are having to control we're seeing the repercussions of this period here, where we're having to control all that money that was printed. So US inflation is, at this present time, worse than it has ever been in 40 years. 40 years. And this is taking us through many horrible bear markets, including the recession of 2007, 2008. And even then, the inflation rate is double what it was in the recession of 2007, 2008. And that was quite a long-term bearish time for multi-assets. Okay? So this to me does not seem very black swanny. This to me seems like it has got a little bit more of a few months attached to it, rather than it's going to be a day or so. All right, so with that in mind, I don't think this is necessarily going to be a 1 month thing like what happened with COVID. I think this could be a few months. If I am to continue my belief, and this is my personal opinion, remember, if I'm to continue my personal belief that I think we are in a bear trend rather than a bear market, and actually the bear market is coming next year, then we could be in this period for a couple of months, and then we will have the longer term happening. So what we could be seeing is almost symmetry. We had long, short, very short. Now we could be seeing short and very long after this. Could be seeing that, okay? It's all conjecture at the moment. So that is what I am hoping for, because at the end of the day, although we're in bearish times right now, the market is moving sideways, and we are not in this large scale we've got to sell kind of thing. We've seen a lot of the worst. Now, last thing I'm going to show you is death crosses and golden crosses, okay? So we are currently in a death cross. So a death cross is when the 50-day goes below the 200-day moving average. Now, we are even further now away from achieving a golden cross. So we are still in death cross territory. Now, whether or not you give much credence to death crosses and golden crosses, either way, a death cross tends to signal a time of selling. All right, and because of what's happened recently, the 50-day has basically curved down and elongated a bearish period. So we could be seeing I think anyway, a few months in my personal opinion, at worst. Now, I could be deluding myself. This could actually be 2 or 3 years. A lot of people are now saying 2 or 3 years. A lot of people are pivoting. Benjamin Cowan, who is the grand master of the longer bull market, the 4-year bull market, has essentially now said we're in a bear market. So, everybody is basically turning bearish at this present time. So it's difficult to maintain a attitude of bullishness, but it's cryptocurrency's got way more adoption than ever. All it really needs is a black swan event on the other side to be able to turn this around. An ETF, a spot ETF, for instance, being granted, could turn this right around. And what we want to be doing is we want to be front running that happening. Okay? Lastly, we have got, as I've shown you already, we have got this diminishing kind of anxiety stroke capitulation stage. So it seems to just be going up at this point. So we obviously had the biggest dip back in 2012, the harshest pain, the harshest capitulation when we were at minus 1.4. Now we are at 0.18. So we seem to be diminishing every time. And if we charted a line, there's almost a perfect line right here going down charting this. So we could be not looking to go down anywhere near as low as this, and maybe just as low as this, for instance. So that's where I see it, where I see kind of the market going in the short term. Down, but also up. Personal opinion. And what we are seeing right now is we've seen a sharp increase in the amount of Bitcoin going on exchanges. Okay, so back in the last Black Swan event, we saw a sharp rise and then it declined basically for 2 years. Now we have seen a sharp rise that looks like it has petered out somewhat and is on the way potentially down. So again, we could be having just a short-term spike of people selling their cryptocurrencies. Right, the next thing to look at is Terra Luna. Okay, so Terra Luna has basically done a Jesus. It has died and it has resurrected. Okay, so Terra, as you will have probably come to realize in the past few days, is that Terra, in a bid to save Terra USD, has basically printed an SH ton of Luna, and they were just printing billions by the bucket load. By printing billions, it essentially created massive inflation of Terra, and so the price was increasing a zero every hour 2 nights ago. All right, and it wasn't stopping. There was no stop to it, so we didn't know quite what was going to happen, right? But eventually, they did stop the minting process, the very, very violent and aggressive minting process. They stopped it, and as a result of that, Luna has now been able to lose a few zeros and actually make around about, from its bottoming, around about a 500x, okay, which could not have been seen without luck and timing. Okay, so you may have been seeing on my Twitter today, this is my trade history on Binance, and these are my Luna buys. So I was buying the other night for my father, dollar cost averaging in, and as you can see, very, very small buys here. So $12, $20, $31, $12, $10, $10. But with these, I was able to buy at 5 zeros, 5 zeros, 5 zeros, and basically make millions. Now, not make millions of dollars, but buy millions of Terra, where literally you would have only needed like 1,000 to have 100,000 recently, and now millions. So it was a mixture of buying for him and shit trading. I was just shit trading. Like, I was just buying the bottom, and as a result of that, they stopped the harsh minting, which I didn't know was going to happen. Yeah, I thought that where the price was going was there's probably going to be another 3 zeros onto this 3 hours from the time I last bought it. But it stopped. It was a case of timing. And so they're trying to revive. So in a bid to try and revive Terra USD, they have stopped the minting and now are looking for a trajectory up of Terra. Now, what they have done is they are actually looking into reviving the Terra ecosystem. Okay. Now, am I investing in this? No, I mean, I've got the money that I've already invested some into this, but not with any, not with any conviction. Okay. It's just purely on speculation. Money I can afford to lose, and it's not very much money. It's like 3 figures that I put into it, and I could easily, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid at that. But anyway, I'm leaving that in. I've sold my dad's portion, and I'm leaving my portion in for now. So they have stopped the minting, but what they are planning to do is, or one of the potential revival plans, is to actually mint. Well, what would happen is that they would roll back the chain, okay, to delete this essentially, and issue a new Luna token, which would not be this Luna token, okay? So this would essentially be null and void. It would be useless, worthless, etc. So that is one of the proposals. Now, no action's been taken. This has had some support, but no action has been taken. So at this present time, Luna is not dead. So what is happening is a series of speculative buys. People are not knowing where it's going to go and are looking to essentially invest. And if best case scenario comes that they burn a load of tokens, leave Luna the way it is, they stabilize the dollar, leave Luna the way it is, burn a load of coins, then people who bought hundreds of thousands, if not millions, will potentially be able to be taking up with the rise. So that is why I believe there is heavy volume right now. I mean, look, $6.6 billion, which is 3 times more than the actual market cap. People are trading the hell out of this. And because the market is very boring at the moment, because Bitcoin is kind of on or around about late 20s, the market isn't really moving a great deal. This looks like the opportunity people are just wanting a slice of the pie on right now. But would I recommend getting in at this point? Not necessarily. But it's completely up to you and your risk profile. I bought at 0.000012. So it's easy for me to say, at this point, now that it's multiplied dramatically, it's easy for me to say at this point, yes, speculatively high risk, it's not a bad punt. It could be a bad punt. All I would say is that we've seen a massive increase. Wait for a retracement if you're wanting to get into it at all. So anyway, so there we are, peeps. There we are. So I did last night sell some cryptocurrencies, which may shock you. I did sell some cryptocurrencies into Tether. So what happened? Well, no, it was BUSD. So I tried to buy one of these last night. Okay, so these are 2 NFTs on FTX. So if you may or may not know, but if you follow Formula 1, FTX sponsors the Mercedes team in Formula 1. The Mercedes team is home to Lewis Hamilton, statistically the best driver of all time. I think naturally the best driver of all time was Ayrton Senna. But anyway, statistically, the best driver of all time. So they were auctioning off this artwork along with the winner of this NFT also receives the physical rear wing that was on Lewis's car in Miami. So my bid was actually the 50.6 Ethereum, but I got beaten literally at the last minute by this 55 Ethereum bid. But anyway, I had to turn a lot of cryptocurrencies into Ethereum to buy this because I haven't got a lot of Ethereum right now. I have very little Ethereum. So I turned my BUSD. I turned some BNB into Ethereum. But when I was turning it back, instead of turning it back into BNB, I turned it just back into BUSD instead. So therefore creating more stable coins in my portfolio to buy with. All right. So I have actually increased. And at the time I was thinking that's probably a bad idea because at the time BNB was rising. It was at 280, moving up to 300. And now, let me have a look and see where BNB 280. So it's gone back down. So it's lost all its gains. So I guess I got out at the right time for that one. So it's not a great deal more in stables. Probably about $30,000 a bit more in stables. So I'm not talking about millions like many would be in the crypto space. So yeah, so I've freed up a little bit more money to be able to buy into these 5 cryptocurrencies. So what are they? They are these cryptocurrencies here. So we've got Nia, Mina, Moonbeam, Telos, Moonriver. Okay, these 5. So Saito and Stratos, I already own hundreds of thousands of these already. Okay, so I don't need to buy any more of these. But these would be 5 I am looking at. And you will notice that all 5 are blockchains or infrastructures. Okay, and the reason why I've got this here is because these are the most evergreen types of cryptocurrency. And I am going to explain to you why with an analysis. Okay, so just before I go into that analysis, let me just see what you guys are saying. Nick Naef, 299. Thank you very much. When is your dad starting his own channel? I don't know. Hopefully soon. He should, shouldn't he? I tell you, my dad has a fantastic high risk profile. Yeah, he's been invested in crypto. He's been invested in stocks since the early 70s. Okay, and he has seen through black markets in the stock market, and he has seen through the recession of 2007, 2009. He saw through all of that. He lost 2/3 of his fortune in that recession, but he didn't sell. He carried on, and now it's kind of, well, I don't know what the state of play is now, but it got up to 6x more than where he started from before the recession. So he held and did well. He is very, very high risk. He always wants to be buying cryptocurrencies, and he's always asking me to invest for him. But after I told him about Luna, he said invest. Okay, I was like, Dad, they're printing a load. He's like, I don't care. Invest for me. I'm happy to lose $100, but who knows where that $100 could go? And he just had the right attitude. Anyway, disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. All cryptocurrency investments are risky. Do not buy without doing your own research. And all views and predictions expressed here are personal opinion and for educational purposes. So, the cryptocurrency that I'm hoping will be a barometer for my 5 choices is this. NEAR protocol. So you're probably asking me, Superman, why would you choose a mid-cap cryptocurrency? Okay, so how cryptocurrencies are classified is large, mid, low, micro. Large is anything above 10 billion. Mid is anything from 250 million to 10 billion. That's quite a wide range, I've got to say. And then low cap is 50 million to 250 million. And micro cap is under 50 million. Okay? So why choose NEAR protocol? All right, so let me tell you why. NEAR protocol is possibly the new Solana, essentially new strong rival to Ethereum. Okay, so it's a scalable, decentralized, and secure blockchain that is growing right now. So they're sharded, proof of stake, multi-chain blockchain that is capable of anything from 4K to 100,000 transactions per second. Okay, so it's up there with Solana speed. It's EVM compatible, something that Solana isn't natively. Okay, so this gives NEAR a bit of an advantage over that. Plus, they are building right now. They've got 500 plus projects. That shows you the momentum of the ecosystem. Now, a lot of people were talking about NEAR protocol at $20. I'm not interested in NEAR protocol at $20. But I am interested in NEAR protocol when it has essentially lost 4x from that point that everybody was talking about it. And I'm looking to buy it at 5 to 6x less than its all-time high. That, I think, presents a very good long-term opportunity. So, NEAR protocol has multi-narrative growth that can be responsible for its long-term trajectory. Okay, so I'm looking to get NEAR protocol between $3 and $4 at best. Okay, I'm hoping it goes down to more, and if it goes down to $2, who knows, I'll get even more than that. But essentially, for the long term, this will thrive on multi-narratives. Okay, so narratives like Move to Earn, like Steppen, like FitFi, like Moves, they are all basically relevant and pumping during one singular narrative. Okay, once that narrative dies, like we've seen with Metaverse has died recently, and so therefore the gains have died. Right, and similar will happen with Move to Earn. But with infrastructures, they are evergreen. They are constantly benefiting from any narrative. So, for instance, Solana has benefited from Steppen. Ethereum has benefited, and Solana, and Phantom, and many others has benefited from DeFi, NFT, and Metaverse. NEAR protocol is in the very early stages of benefiting from multi-narratives, but now these are starting to come out as they are onboarding new developers and users into the ecosystem. So with the decline of Terra, leaves a massive gap for NEAR protocol to be able to take that, because Terra was looked at as the Solana competitor. It's not going to be that now. Even if it gets kind of restored, the trust has been lost so much that I don't ever see this being I don't see Terra ever being the next Solana. So therefore, NEAR protocol could be. Now, NEAR protocol is looking to be an infrastructure for Web3. Web3 is kind of the big future narrative. They also already have over 1.5 billion locked in DeFi. Okay, so it just goes to show you that they are already creating good DeFi platforms. It's not a lot compared to Ethereum and Solana, but it's growing. And that is when you want to be getting into it. Privacy. So they are going to be having ZK rollups as part of their consensus algorithm, which is fantastic. Okay, so they have this ability to be able to develop their blockchain to scale in various ways. So they're going to be having a privacy infrastructure. They're going to be using ZK rollups, which is arguably one of the best layer 2 rollup methodologies of Ethereum. They're going to be having NFTs. They're going to be having metaverse. They're going to be able to exploit move to earn. So recently Sweatcoin has come out on their protocol. So it just goes to show they are trying to develop their move to earn projects and decentralized social media. So there are multiple narratives that will allow NEA to compete with Ethereum over the course of time. Now, an area which I'm slightly, I don't know if I'm happy about or not, is they are developing USN. So UST is the Terra stablecoin. NEA Protocol are developing USN, which is meant to be an algorithmic stablecoin. Which when I read into this, I kind of thought this could be potentially attacked. But actually, this could be looking to improve upon the situation that Terra obviously had gaps in. All right. So using their loss, their failure as a point to learn from and to make sure they don't get taken down by. Okay. So with USN, they are planning to bring out 20% APY, which is eerily and spookily pretty much the same as what Terra was meant to be. They've developed NearPay, which is a payment system on NEA Protocol that's meant to have instant finality, essentially, when you are paying with cryptocurrencies. And they have Sweatcoin, which is their recent NFT stroke move to earn cryptocurrency. And they have set an initiative to onboard to onboard 1 million developers and 1 billion users. Okay, so they are nowhere near that at the moment. The usage is very, very low right now. So NEA Protocol has got insane potential. Now, as to who is in it, essentially it is pretty much the creme de la creme. Right? It's difficult to find who's not in it. And that poses even more confidence. Okay, so VCs include Coinbase, Pantera, Andreessen Horowitz, FTX, Alameda, Three Arrows Capital. There's way more very well known digital currency group, Hashed. There's just they're all in it. But these are the top ones. Coinbase and Pantera and Andreessen Horowitz are the premier tier VCs. Now, the opportunity. How big is the size? So currently, NEA Protocol is a 4 billion market cap. Might be slightly less than that. That is 62x away from Ethereum currently. If it was to achieve where Ethereum has achieved as an all-time high, it would be more like 130x. And this is just based on today. If we're looking 10 years' time, 130x seems like it could easily be achieved. Now, another thing I like about this is that, people, you may be saying, oh, Suppoman, you tend to go for things that are 5 figures, 6 figures, at best 7 figures when you invest in them in order to make your massive multipliers. Yes, that is very, very true. But what I will say is that NEA Protocol is only 10x more than its IDO price. 10x more. So anybody who invested at IDO is only 10x up on when they actually invested. Okay, so that shows you that the people who were the earliest investors haven't already made a 100x or a 1000x. So therefore, the people who have gotten involved in this have not been able to see through the profits that they invested in this at early stage. Therefore, meaning that this has got way higher to go before anybody starts to take out or VC should be looking to be taking out their profits in this. They may be dollar cost average selling just for a period of freeing up some stables to be able to buy other cryptocurrencies or other IDOs or other seed stage cryptocurrencies. But they have not yet really made the money with their protocol. Therefore, I see this as a mid cap, one of the best mid caps you can go for, other than Moonbeam. Okay, so my target is to acquire this at a market cap of 1.5 to 2 billion. So essentially half the price that it is now, ideally. Okay, so that therefore forms the barometer for the rest of these cryptocurrencies. So Mina, again, is an early stage blockchain, very, very low in the top 100, that has the potential to do really well. It's only just a mid-cap cryptocurrency. Moonbeam as well, only just a mid-cap cryptocurrency. Now, I'm looking to get Moonbeam at half the price of this. I would be looking to get Moonbeam between 50 and 80 cents. Mina between... I'd like to get Mina about 50 cents. And Telos is a recent one, higher risk. These two are institutional they've got institutional adoption. Mina have got Coinbase and Binance, as well as very, very other well-known VCs. Moonbeam have got also creme de la creme whale money in it. Telos, on the other hand, has not. So Telos is a very fast transaction cryptocurrency. It is, I think it's 50,000 transactions per second. So they are a green EVM compatible blockchain. Okay, that is very, very eco-efficient, incredibly fast finality time. I think it's half a second block finality. So that is when you actually make a payment, it should be easily satisfied within half a second. All right, so transaction per second, 10,000. Okay, so not 50,000, 10,000 with very, very low energy output. So as you can see, it's better than all of the other competitors. Now, these guys do not actually have much in the way of VCs into them. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because VCs at a time like this could actually be completely rinsing their funds, right, and taking it out of maybe higher risk projects. Okay, so this not having VCs is probably what has allowed it to maintain a low cap status rather than a micro cap status. But as you can see, very, very low relevance right now. The volume is going down on it. So I would be looking to get into this at anything between 5 to 10 cents. So if we have a look in the all-time, that may be quite ambitious. But yeah, 5 10 cents would take it way before the latter 2021 pump. Okay, and roughly on or around about its lowest. So that means a very high reward to risk ratio. Okay, so those are the cryptocurrencies that I am particularly eyeing up, and I am looking to add more. Moonriver, very surprisingly, like I would expect this to easily 100x from this point, if not, yeah, 100x from this point. Like I was eyeing up, like if the bull run had continued for Moonriver, this would be in the thousands, but it never really did. Then Moonbeam came out, and then Polkadot lost all relevance, and then everything lost relevance. Okay, so therefore, these would be good snipes for the long term. I don't think that Moonbeam and Moonriver are going to go anywhere for another cycle and a half to 2 cycles, in which case they can exploit 2 cycles worth of gains. So therefore, we're looking at 100x, I would say, for Moonriver anyway. Moonbeam, the lower you can get it, the more chance of a 100x. I could see this being a $45 cryptocurrency. Right, okay. Let's have a look and see what you guys have got to say. I think that I've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. Need a drink. Throat's gone dry. Sorry if there was sound effects there. By the way, people, smash a like. 456 people watching. 133 likes. Only a quarter of likes per concurrent. That's only a quarter per concurrent viewer. So that would be lovely if you could do that. And I will take any questions now. Let me start from the beginning. So who have we got? So we have got Petse, Nad, Ido, USA Local, SEO, Bitcoin, Quincy, Vishali, Legendary Master Victory, Lindsay, King Kush, Bitcoin, Apex, YouTube Shorts, English Campus, Mrs. Rex Loves Hex. I have been doing quite a lot of videos. Have been doing quite a lot of videos. Watching in the morning was my birthday today, praying for a couple of launches. Happy birthday, Mrs. Rex loves Hex. Bambo, Jeffrey VV, Leicester Cafe, Halamin Hussein, Julian Tapia, Paul Turner, Walter Howard. Good to see you guys. I'm delighted you all could join. Tom888, Tiffany Scott. Any holidays planned? Yeah, possibly at the end of the year, I would hope. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. What are your views on Decentraland? Well, I would say that Decentraland is... I would say that the reason Decentraland is where it is because they have got significant VC money behind them, or significant whale money behind them. And they were the first real metaverse cryptocurrency. It was there before everything else. It was a little bit like when DeFi season came for ADA. Well, when DeFi season came, Aave and Celsius and Nexo were the 3 DeFi protocols that had been around long before the DeFi narrative actually hit. And so those were the 3 that became instant blue chips. Same with Decentraland. You know, it kind of, by way of being the oldest in this ecosystem, is the blue chip. But in my opinion, it's not great. You know, in my opinion, there are better opportunities out there, and the ecosystem is likely to be better than Decentraland. I think Decentraland is here because it's this cycle's, you know, blue chip metaverse cryptocurrency, but it'll be gone by the next cycle, and it'll be superseded by better. Nick Naif, would you look at existing projects already on Terra Luna as potential buys? No. If I'm honest with you, I wouldn't. I mean, you never know what could happen, right? You never know if this could kick off a mini trend for Luna-based cryptocurrencies. I wouldn't touch it, right? The only reason I got into Luna in the first place was simply because of I suppose, just the how purely banal it was, how, you know, catastrophic it felt for, you know, to be able to own millions of something that if you had owned that millions before would have been worth billions. It just felt like shit trading. It just felt like this is just interesting, like historic, like you're owning something that even whales only had like probably a few thousand of, or maybe 60,000 of. They wouldn't have had it in the millions. So it just felt like, you know, you could, so why not, right? And you could do it for like $10, $20, $100, have millions of something. So it just seemed like it was fun. It didn't seem like, it wasn't a serious trade to me at all. And that kind of outlines cryptocurrency as a whole, really, which is that most of the time you make money by pure stupidity. Like, look at Shiba Inu. Like 6,000x. 6,000x on, you know, a shitcoin, right? But it happened, right? And so Luna is pretty much the same. Like, it could go on, like, based on, I mean, the current price is kind of stabilized at 30.3. But the longer this goes on, like, if we don't see a revival plan actually implemented anytime soon, however there's talk of it, then it allows people to speculate bullishly. If we see Terra USD approach its peg of $1, then again it makes people bullish. So therefore, Terra seemed like the kind of better speculative bet, purely high risk speculative bet. But at the same time, you know, if Do Kwon should so happen to say we are rolling back the chain and issuing a new token, of which 40% will be given to Luna holders before the depegging event, 40% to UST holders, and only 10% to those at the final moment of the chain halt. So that was literally a couple of days ago, and that 10% is shit, right? So if you have got millions of Luna right now, or even hundreds of thousands of Luna right now, you stand to get nothing at all, no airdrop, nothing, right? So therefore, you know, you have to hope that they don't roll back the chain, they don't issue a new token, and that the speculation just continues talk of plans, and the more influencers talk about it, and I'm not including myself as one of them, the more influencers talk about it, the more chance there is of this just going up speculatively and you being able to make some gains off of that. But, you know, only in this interim period is there an opportunity for that. And since they stopped the mint, that has given even better opportunity, okay? So the mint was killing everything. And you have to see what they do. Talk of burns is happening right now. Again, no real call to action on that. But burns are coming. So if a burn comes, which I don't know how, because how can you burn tokens that are already out in open distribution and are owned? Okay, if you have got tons of coins, you've inflated the supply. Those people have bought it at 0.00000. They own millions of them. How can you burn something that's already owned unless you create an initiative where people gain something from burning them? And then that could revive the market cap, for instance. But but at this present time, it's pure speculation. In a speculative period, anything can happen. And so you're just betting on good luck, I suppose. But thank you for the question, Nick Nayef. Buddy Holidays, thanks, Michael, for being with us. Shows us you are not here just for bull markets. Stand strong in your belief in crypto. You are a true gem. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's actually very difficult to come live at times like this. You probably think that's easy. Just turn on the bloody camera. What are you talking about? But it's very, very risky because, you know, people. This is the bear hit list, by the way. This is like my main hit list. So if you go to, so this was previously like my gaming. I'll put a link anyway. Copy. I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, this is like my main one. It's got 21,000 followers. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so it is actually difficult to come live, so I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much for your contribution there. So if you already talked about it, but does moonbeam inflation not bother you? No, not really. I mean, let's face it, it's not going to have what happened to Luna, is it? Like, inflation is natural. Like, the thing is that, yeah, in an ideal world, you get into something that's more deflationary. You know, kind of like Pulse Chain, Pulse X, they're going to be deflationary. Right? They start off high, and then they'll deflate over time. Okay, thus creating the gains, thus creating increased demand over supply. But with something like Moonbeam, and what Moonbeam as a utility cryptocurrency is, which is basically, it has utility on both Polkadot and Ethereum. With the development, with the ecosystem growth, there's going to be a lot of usage of those tokens. So they're not going to be used purely for speculating and to dilute the coin price. And as the bear cycles come about, the bull cycles come about, then there is going to be just increased demand for Moonbeam because it's the only one that does what it does. It's the only one that's got the technology it's got. Even though Moonriver's quite similar, but it's not the same. Right, I think that is it. How long have I been on Lineage? 48 minutes. Not a lot. So, yeah, it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? It's weird how you've got these very, very strong cryptocurrencies, particularly Near Protocol, as an example. And yet, the volume is 7x less than for Terra, which has essentially gone through the biggest PR nightmare, the biggest takedown I have ever seen in crypto, and I've been there through BitConnect, BitDegree, loads of cryptocurrencies that have absolutely gotten smashed and killed, and people are still buying it, so it's amazing. Duquan is Richard without the watches. Don't let Richard hear you say that, but he's very charismatic. I'll give him that, and like Richard. Deflationary currency is a naive and childish philosophy. Well, it is and it isn't, if you think about it. Like, the way Pulse Chain has got its mechanics, it's actually very good, because, yeah, over the course of time, if Pulse Chain was almost built for use, okay, built for high utility. And so if you've got high utility coin and a deflationary supply, then you could see Hex-esque gains potentially over the course of time. And the thing is that, I see it being a relatively slow burn for Pulse Chain, simply because of how much is going to be minted in the first instance. Like, I am going to be having like 100 million coins, and lots of people are going to be having millions and millions of coins, and the people who are the top sacrifices are going to have like billions of coins, and there's going to be a trillion supply. And even if it goes to 10 cents, it's going to be a top 3 cryptocurrency. Like, initially, I see it not working. But over the course of time, like Hex, I see it having a very, very similar price curve as Hex over the course of time. As it deflates, I see it having this kind of parabolic potential. Particularly because Richard is he's just everywhere. He's blown up on Instagram, he's blown up on Twitter, he's blown up on YouTube. He's going to be... all he's been doing is putting Hex in people's faces for 2 years. Or 3 years. Now he's going to be putting Pulse Chain in people's faces for years and years to come. And everything's going to be geared around the Pulse Chain network. Pulse Chain, Pulse X, this wallet he is creating. So I think it's got a long future, and deflationary mechanics could actually, make Pulse Chain have an incredible trajectory over time. Hence why it was probably best to get in at sacrifice. But when it comes out, you don't know what's going to happen, what circumstances it's going to come out in. It's coming out in a week or so's time. So if this is anything to go by, the 21 monthly moving average, where it's basically a signal of a relatively, at least mid-term bear market, and it comes out at the beginning of that, who knows, you may be able to get Pulse Chain at a fantastic price. And Pulse X, so, watch this space. I think because Hex came out, literally just before the Black Swan event. Hex came out around about here, and then this happened. And then this happened with the market, and Hex, as a result, did this. Okay, and I luckily got into Hex in August when it was 0.0 there, around about here, I would say. Around about this price was 0.3. Anyway, I was lucky to get into Hex before its trajectory. But there could be a second bite of the cherry for Pulse Chain. Thank you very much, Leicester Cafe. If Moves releases on May the 24th, what do you think will happen in the short, mid, long term? Well, I would say that Move to Earn is still like the bear narrative of the past few days has taken precedence in the news. Like, you're not really looking too much at scalps. People are too busy panicking, as you can see from these figures here. But where was I? But Move to Earn is still relatively relevant. Where's FitFi? Oh, that's gone down somewhat. It's still relatively relevant. So the worst thing that could happen for Moves, now if it does release at the end of the month, by that time a lot of the panic may have gone, boredom may have set in, and everybody's like looking for the next kind of terror opportunity. Like, how can I make a bit of money in a very short term space of time? And Moves could provide that ability, particularly with Steppen still being still having very high volume, still being very relevant. This still being quite a well-traded ecosystem, a well-traded narrative. So Move to Earn could do very, very well, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But cryptocurrency is the biggest guessing game, as I've said before. No one can guess what's going to happen. Only the people. It's all smoke and mirrors. Cryptocurrency. I should know this. At the top, being at the top in terms of network. I know it's smoke and mirrors. It's only the people in the know that knows. You know what I mean? The people in the know, the people behind exchanges, the people, and even them sometimes. Like, for instance, with what's happened with Luna. They delisted, then relisted. But it's only the people at the top, the people who are well connected. And this is why I think, for instance, CZ has bought into, Twitter. It's bought into, what's the other platform he's bought into recently? Can't remember. But anyway, he's a Bloomberg, I think it is. But he's spending so that he has the inside scoop. Because if you're in with the big boys, that's when you know what's going to happen. So it's all smoke and mirrors. And unless you're within that community, you're subject to market manipulation. And you don't know what's going to happen. And it's just a case of sometimes it's just pure luck can do really well. Unless, however, it happens to be a bull season, in which case, you're pretty much okay anyway. During that whole, couple of months, between September and November, it was easy street. But otherwise, you rely on luck, and you are definitely can be a victim of subject to market manipulation. Anything else? Any other questions? Let me have a quick looky look. Is Zilliqa a buy? I don't care for it. Who the fuck buys Richard Mell watches? 250k USD per watch, damn, all that ETH. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, Richard Mell is a better investment than most NFTs that are roughly the same price. Okay, so I spent 400k on an NFT that is now worth probably about 4k. Now it's not 4k, but it's lost its value massively. And so Richard Mell much better in value. Richard Mell, the Jacob and APs and stuff. Yeah, they're good. They're good. Richard Hart's not stupid. He's not stupid. That's one thing you couldn't call Richard Hart. It's stupid. He's definitely not that. How will Pulse Chain ever make insane returns like 1000x, like everybody is saying? It won't make like everybody is saying that. Like if you go into the Pulse Chain Telegram group, they're like Pulse Chain to $1, Pulse Chain to $10. Like, it's not going to happen. All right, but ever probably. But over the course of time, though, the math doesn't add up now, but they're deflationary cryptocurrencies. Okay, so they're going to be burning gas with every transaction. So the more utilized it is, and because Richard Hart's been smart with the whole creating a one for one replica of all of the Ethereum tokens onto Pulse Chain, he's been very, very smart. So people are going to be able to use it for yield farming. There's going to be incentive to do transactions on the Pulse Chain network, therefore creating that constant burn. So over the course of time, it's going to happen. But it's not going to launch like 1000x, but over the course of time, as the supply is massively reduced, then I see it doing a hex, yeah. Right, I think that is it for questions. Yeah, I think that is it for questions. Akala, Glimmer, why not Akala? Akala's DeFi. And I don't... Akala's probably okay. It's probably a good one. I've got some. I don't really care for acquiring more. If I'm honest with you, I don't care for acquiring more Akala. It's a DeFi ecosystem. And DeFi, essentially has been shot to bits after this whole Terra incident. So... DeFi... It just shows even more lack of use of a token for DeFi. Okay, that is it for today's episode, I believe. The 500 of you guys watching, so I appreciate you all for being here. Essentially, you've got what I present as a period, I think, of bearishness, but I maintain resolute in that there's going to be rounds that we can win in crypto, acquiring strong cryptocurrencies. So yeah, so that period is beginning, and I've shared with you what I am looking to buy at kind of what prices, what multipliers I'm going to be looking to make over the coming 2 cycles. And I think that these particular coins, well, particularly the ones in the mid-cap range, can last 2 cycles. The other ones, probably 1 cycle. Right, unless they are able to get into the big leaves like Terra. Okay, thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate all of your attendance. And let me know in the comments, do you want me to appear more regularly? I'm keen to find out. Till next time, people, I've been Superman, you've been awesome. It's lights out, all out.